You're listening to the Fit Dad Mindset for dads who want more than motivation. We talk discipline, habits, and strategies that fit your life, so you don't just look fit, you live fit. Be the dad who leads by example, starting now. If you're waiting to feel motivated before you get back in shape, you'll be waiting a long time. Motivation is one of the most unreliable tools you can use. In today's episode, I'm going to break down exactly why it fails most dads and what actually works instead. This is the Fit Dad Mindset. I'm Mike, a dad who lost over 50 kilos by changing how I thought before I changed how I trained. Let's get straight into it. Motivation. It's the one thing that almost every dad tells me they're struggling with. I know what to do, I just can't get motivated. But here's the truth that no one tells you. Motivation is a liar. It's just a feeling. And like every feeling, it's unreliable. It changes based on your sleep, your stress, your energy, the weather, your kids waking up at 3 a.m, you name it. But most dads are trying to build this massive change in their life on a foundation that wobbles daily. And that's why you feel like you're starting and stopping all the time. Not because you're weak or lazy, but because you're relying on an emotion instead of a system. Think about this. If your kid only brushed their teeth when they felt like it, how often would they actually brush their teeth? If they're anything like mine, they spend more time screaming than they do actually brushing their teeth. But it's because brushing your teeth isn't exciting. It's just something that you have to do. You don't need to feel inspired to brush your teeth. You don't need to feel motivated to do it. You just do it because it's part of your habits and it's part of your systems and it's what's expected. And you need to apply that same thinking to training, to eating well, to getting good sleep. They're not like optional feel-good activities, although they are actually all good, really good feel-good activities. You have to make them the foundation of who you want to be. But the trap that most people fall into is they wait to feel ready. You're constantly telling yourself, I'm going to start Monday after all this week's madness is over. But life doesn't calm down. That perfect time that you're waiting for doesn't exist. There's always a birthday, a barbecue, a weekend away, a holiday, a deadline. And every time you delay it, your confidence takes a hit because deep down you know you're not keeping the promises that you're making to yourself. One of my clients, a dad in his 40s, told me he'd been thinking about getting in shape for 2 years before he joined. And he just kept waiting for the right time. And in that 2 years, he's gained over 1.5 stone, started snoring at night, his energy is rock bottom. And that waiting mindset is a trap. And it's going to keep you stuck and you're going to get progressively less healthy until you actually are forced into doing something. So, what are you going to do instead? You stop waiting to feel motivated and you start building discipline. Now, before you turn it off and think, yeah, discipline's not for me, let me just explain what I mean. Discipline isn't some, military fitness guy screaming at you. It's just about doing what you said you would do, even when you don't feel like it. So you do this in loads of other areas of your life. You still go to work when you're tired. You still show up for your kids when you're knackered. You handle your responsibilities, not because you feel like it, but because it's who you are. And that same energy and that same level of responsibility can be redirected into looking after yourself as well. So when I lost over 50 kilos, people kept asking me what my secret was. And the truth is, it's not really a secret. Like half the time I didn't really feel like doing it. I definitely never felt like eating healthy right at the start. But I just stopped negotiating with myself. I trained when I didn't feel like it. I prepped food and ate solid whole foods even when I wanted to eat junk and when I wanted to sit on the sofa and do nothing. And I just, bit by bit, I made the plan and then I stuck to the plan. And I wasn't perfect, not by any means, but I was consistent. I did it for a long period of time. And that consistency, the discipline, is what adds up to the result. But here's where most people go wrong. They try to rely on willpower instead of building reliable systems. The ones who succeed don't make 100 decisions every day. They make 3 or 4, and all the rest is automatic. They book their workouts in, they prep their food in bulk so everything's ready to go. They have a few go-to breakfasts, a few quick fallback dinners. It's not about being obsessive, it's just about being efficient. Because your willpower is limited, especially when the kids are playing up and you're tired, and the easiest option is just to get a takeaway or not go to the gym or not train, not do the workout, not hit your steps, all that stuff. It's the systems that you need that are going to make the whole thing sustainable. And you're not lazy, you're just overloaded and probably a bit overwhelmed. And the answer isn't about trying harder. It's not really about effort. It's about making things easier to stick to. So the biggest mindset shift that I want you to take away today is that motivation comes after action, not before. Most people have it the wrong way around. They think you need to feel good to get started. But what actually happens is you start, you get moving, you start eating better, and then you feel good about it. And then you feel like it more often than not. So when you first start, you probably don't want to train, you probably don't want to do the workout, but you need to go anyway. 10 minutes in, everything wakes up, your body wakes up, your brain wakes up, and afterwards you're going to feel great. And that's where motivation kicks in, because then you start associating the workout with the feeling that comes afterwards. So let me tell you about my personal reason for getting started. Back in 2021, I was 147 kilos, tried every diet under the sun, yo-yoed weight for years. I was tired all the time, had no confidence, pretty miserable most of the time, and I'd kind of stopped thinking that change was even possible. And then one day my 2-year-old daughter was walking around a garden centre with my wife and mother-in-law, and she saw a statue of a fat Buddha on a shelf. And she ran up to it, cuddled it and shouted, "Daddy!" She thought it was a statue of me. And, she was 2 years old and, she meant it, lovingly. But it hit me like a train. And, like that moment cut deeper than any insult or anything that anyone could have said to me at the time. And that was the moment that I realised that if I didn't change, that I'd be stuck with that body and that mindset for the rest of my life. And even worse than that, I'd be showing my daughter that that was normal, and that was what she expected her dad to look like. And I didn't want that. And I didn't want to be the tired, out of breath dad sitting on the side. I wanted to be the dad running with her, lifting her onto climbing frames, climbing trees with her, leading by example. And that moment gave me my why. And from that day onwards, I didn't really look back. It didn't happen overnight. It was a gradual process and it happened bit by bit. But that was the catalyst. And from that day onwards, it all changed. And you need to find your own reason. So it doesn't have to be a single moment like that. But you do need to get honest with yourself about what you're doing it for. Because if you're just doing this to drop a few pounds for a holiday or a big party or social event or something like that, then you're going to quit. as soon as it gets inconvenient or as soon as something gets in the way because your goal isn't strong enough. If you're doing it because you want to be around longer for your kids, or because you want to respect yourself again, because you want to like what you see in the mirror, because you're tired of being a passenger in your own life, then that is what is going to carry you through when you're not motivated. So here's a simple exercise about how to find your why. And you're going to keep asking yourself questions. So the first question you're going to ask yourself is, why do I want to get fit? And then you're going to keep asking why. And again, you're going to keep asking why until you get to the real deeper reason. So it might sound something like this. I want to lose weight. Why? So I look better. Why? So I feel more confident. Why? Because I hate the way that I feel around other people. Why? Because I feel like I'm letting myself and my family down. Why? Because I'm scared I won't be able to keep up with my kids as I get older. And then you find it. Then you find the real, deeper reason why you're doing it. And you don't need more motivation. You need to remember that real, deeper reason, that real why. So here's something you can do today, an actual step. So after the podcast, go for a 10-minute walk. No music, no headphones, no phone ideally, just move. And then pay attention to how your mindset shifts afterwards, even if it's just a little bit to start with. And that's the power of action first thinking. And it's how you start building momentum. You do the thing first, and then you notice how it makes you feel. And the last thing, this is one of the real game changers that we talk about a lot in the program, is identity. So if you keep telling yourself that you're someone who struggles to stay consistent, then you'll keep acting like someone who struggles to stay consistent. But when you shift your mindset to, I am the kind of dad who trains, I am the kind of dad who eats well, I am the kind of dad who looks after himself, then you're going to start acting like that man. And all those small wins are going to reinforce that new identity. You're not trying to get in shape. You are the man who values his health, and you prove it every day with your actions. So, let's wrap this up with 3 things to remember. Number 1, motivation is a feeling. Feelings are unreliable. Don't rely on motivation. Number 2, discipline and systems are your real tools. Block out time for workouts. Prep food. Remove friction and keep it simple. And number 3, your identity is a game changer. Be the kind of dad who trains, even on bad days. You don't need to feel like it. You just need to act like the man you want to become. That's it for this first episode of the Fit Dad Mindset podcast. And if this hit home today, take action. Not Monday, not next month, today. And if you're not already in the free Fit Dad WhatsApp group, there's a link in the show notes. It's quiet, focused, full of dads, just like you. No spam, no nonsense, just advice and accountability. And I will see you next time.